Big whoop. Speaking of, folks, get this. General Motors, Obama Motors, signed a sponsorship deal with Manchester United yesterday, the English soccer team, owned by the Glazer family, by the way, which owns the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They own Manchester United. Obama Motors signed a sponsorship deal with an English soccer club after rewording the terms negotiated with the soccer club by the U.S. automaker's ousted global marketing chief. Under the 7-year jersey sponsorship deal, starting in the 2014-2015 season for the Chevrolet brand, General Motors will pay $60 to $70 million. Obama Motors will pay a British soccer club $60 to $70 million a year, said a person with knowledge of the contract who asked not to be identified. GM, Obama Motors, will also pay Manchester United a $100 million activation fee, making the deal's total value worth as much as $600 million. Now, I know people don't want to politicize sports, but folks, isn't this outsourcing? And by the way, this article that I'm reading from, this is from the Reuters, which is unfazed by this. Reuters doesn't mention that Obama Motors announced back in May that it was not going to advertise in the Super Bowl anymore. They don't want to be associated with the violence of American football. So Obama Motors pulls their money out of the Super Bowl. Obama Motors pulled their money out of Facebook Mobile, claiming it wasn't working. And now Obama Motors, General Motors, owned by the federal government, outsourcing $700 million to Manchester United. Isn't Obama out talking about outsourcing? Isn't he out there ripping Romney to shreds for outsourcing and all the outsourcing jobs? And his own car company won't advertise in the U.S. Super Bowl, but is going to sponsor Manchester United. I just thought you should know. Here's Kathy on the freeway in Illinois. Great to have you on the program, Kath. Hi.
Hello, Rush. It's an honor to speak with you. Thanks so much for taking my call.
You bet, madam.
Now, I heard you mention the enormous power outage in India at the top of the show. And
650 million people without electricity.
That's a lot of people. Yes.
That's 1/10 of all humanity.
Wow, that makes it seem even larger. Now, you also mentioned that India is often held up as a country that the U.S. should imitate.
No. Okay. Obama and Elizabeth Warren tell us that we need to imitate and be more like China and India infrastructure-wise, that they are the countries that are setting the trends.
Well, I just find that to be completely outrageous. I've actually been to India and seen the infrastructure myself, seen the extreme poverty that there is there, and I can't believe that any liberal would want to hold that up as an example of what we should do, especially considering the state of many people there.
Well, what do you think American liberals... I'll tell you this, Kathy, if American liberals were thinking what they would do is declare today to be Earth Day and celebrate the Indian blackout, I mean, what do? They have a day every year where they turn off the lights. Hey, they're off. 650 million people, lights and everything off in it. This is what they want. They ought to stop everything and declare this is what we are aiming for ourselves, because it is.
That, to me, is just ridiculous. I mean... Of
course it's ridiculous. It's absurd.
Just, if you consider even the oppression that so many people there face, I can't understand why, the feminists aren't standing up every time someone says we should be more like, India. I can't believe they're not jumping up and down outraged that someone would even suggest such a thing.
Well, that makes two of us. It does. The hypocrisy on the left here is, but see, they don't consider India their enemy or their opposite. It's us, Kat. We conservatives are all they care about opposing. We are the ones they care to stop. Whatever they're happening to women in Saudi Arabia or India, it doesn't matter. It's how can we take whatever's happening anywhere we want to highlight and destroy or defeat conservatives. That's the prism through which they look at everything. Defeating American conservatives. Republicans, what have you, primarily conservative. By the way, Kathy, thanks for the call. Did you see Saudi Arabia has allowed 2 women to be on the Olympic team? And one of them, I think, competes in judo. And the Saudis told the Olympic Committee, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, you must let our female judo competitor wear a hijab, a head scarf. And the IOC relented. It is not allowed in judo because it could end up being used as a weapon for choking, for example, or the wearer could end up using it as a... But they relented, and they're letting the Saudi woman wear her hijab because it's required that head be covered in public. I kid you not. They did relent. I don't know when the competition is. I haven't checked. I have all that stuff available on my iOS devices. I haven't looked up when judo is. But it kind of boggles the mind. The fear that exists and the resulting political correctness. Let's take a time out. It's a good time to do it. We'll be back. Don't go away.